minutes.
Hello and welcome to Gold Engine. This week we're going to learn a lesson why you don't neglect your front drive shaft. I put this is my own personal vehicle, and I put off fixing this thing for too long, and it bit me in the ass. My wife was driving home one time from work, and she made it to the end of the driveway, the beginning of the driveway, and the truck stopped and wouldn't go any further. And she calls me up, and I come out of the house and come look underneath of it to find my transfer case had broken in half. And yeah, this drive shaft, this joint locked up, as it rotated, and just twisted the friggin' transfer case right in half. They're only made out of aluminum and pretty thin, so you know they're not that strong. And so yeah, it's a good lesson to learn. You know there's a problem, well, get on it before it turns into a bigger one. And yeah, I had the part in the truck. I was going to fix it that weekend even, and yeah, Friday night piled up. So yeah, I learned something that time around. And I'm going to change out the pivot ball in the middle of this double cardan joint here, and you'll see how it goes. So first of all, we're going to mark the drive shaft so we don't put it out of phase whenever we put it back together and cause a vibration. These things are balanced with weights that are welded on. So I'm just going to take some chalk and mark it on the drive shaft and on this part here and the flange. Alright, next you pop off these E-clips that stop the U-joint from popping out of the yoke. So you can use pliers to get these things out of here, but typically they usually get stuck on one side of it, or both sides even sometimes. So I like to use a screwdriver and just go up against one side out of 45, give her a hit, and look at that, they pop right out of there. And get stuck on your screwdriver. So get the next one out. One shot done. When you go to put them in, you use some pliers like these, some side cutters. You can take them out like that too, but they're a pain in the ass sometimes if you get stuck. So yeah, the screwdriver is a nice little trick. So after you get the E-clips out, you press out the U-joint with a 4-wheel drive ball joint press, like a C-clamp style here. Got an open end on the end there to for the cap to push on through. Okay, stick that guy on there. Alright, now that I got the caps out of there, I can wiggle this thing out of here. Oh, and there goes the pivot ball. Now, unfortunately, this one is worn beyond repair. I'm going to have to get a new drive shaft for this one, and I'll show you why. Here's the pivot ball and its housing. You can see it's worn right through there. That must have been when it bound up and broke the transfer case, I'm thinking. What do you do? Well, I wonder if a guy could do something. Weld it up, grind it down. Typically, it would replace the whole drive shaft, but I like to salvage what I can and recycle parts, so I'm going to combine 2 drive shafts to make one good one. And how I'm going to do that is actually, I'm going to cut this drive shaft off right here at the yoke, and I'm going to weld this one onto it. Now, this one here is off of a Ford 1-ton drive shaft, and it's a little heavier duty than the original one here, but it does have the same bolt pattern as the original one. The only difference is the Ford one has threads in it and the Dodge one doesn't. And well, I guess now that I'm looking at it, there's a big hole here for it to fit over a hub, and this one doesn't have that, so I might have to do some modifications to make this one fit in there. I'll have to have a quick look. So let's go do that now. Alright, so there is a little stub piece poking off of the side there. I'll either have to grind that off or make a big hole in the other one. Alright, so to overcome that problem, I'm going to make an adapter out of the original companion flange. It already has the relief cut in here. So what I'm going to do is just hack that off right about here, make this just like a flat flange, and it'll work as a spacer to go in between the transfer case and the new drive shaft. And then we'll find some longer bolts for it. After I cut it off, I had to grind down a bunch of little higher spots on here, and I finished it off on a belt sander to make it pretty uniform and shiny. So yeah, that'll go on there, something like that, and bolt right onto our transfer case. Just need a little longer bolt. Now you want to keep all these bearing caps in line so that your drive shaft doesn't bind up as it goes around corners and stuff like that. So we'll line that up, give it a tack, and weld it up solid. There we go. Now we're going to cut this little whatever's left over from the old drive shaft around the yoke here, so we can slip on our original drive shaft. Well, this one's actually a little bit smaller. Okay, new plan. Now I'm going to just weld this directly onto this one. That'll work. That's looking pretty good there. Now tack it in place. And weld her up solid. Isn't time to run out of wire. I'll be back. So now we got to open up these threaded holes here to allow this bolt to go through. A little bit small right now, so I'll drill them out. There we go. Now we're going to have to clearance, take out a little bit of this area here so this both can sit in there flat. Got our clearances made. Bolt sits in there nice and flat now. Let's go see how it fits in the truck. Alright, just bolted in on the transfer case side. We got her bolted in. I lost one of the bolts for the front here, so one bolt's a little different than the others, but she'll hold. And it looks pretty half-assed straight too. Now it's got a little bit of forward power. Well, we did it. That is how you save probably, I think they wanted $350 for a used drive shaft for this thing. And yeah, it didn't cost me anything other than some time. But hey, I got some good quality time spent with you guys. So anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to go see how well this 4x4 works now. And we'll see you next week.